USSR, and this was the symbol of USSR. Before we start our today's class, it is very important for us to understand the important leaders of USSR. Joseph Stalin was the successor of Lenin. He was responsible for rapid industrialization and forcible collectivization of agriculture. Here, the collectivization of agriculture means all the lands of the farmers were included into single land, and all the farmer will do agriculture into one single land. He was given credit for the victory of USSR in the Second World War. He was held responsible for the Great Terror in 1930s. His rule was authoritarian and he always removed the rivals within the party. That means his rule was a dominating rule, and he always removed the person who raised voices against him from his party. So that's it information we will be acquiring for Joseph. So if you want to more understand Joseph Stalin, please watch movie Red Sun. The next leader is Nikita Khrushchev. He was popular during the period of Cuban Missile Crisis. He kept a missile in Cuba to target US. He also suggested reform that was peaceful coexistence with the West. That means he suggested that to have some kind of openness with the world of West. West means capitalism. He was also involved in suppressing the popular liberation in Hungary and also, as you know, in the Cuban Missile Crisis. Next leader of USSR was Leonid Brezhnev. He was able to propose the Asian collective security system. He was able to have good relation with US. He was able to suppress the repression in Czechoslovakia. Here, when we are speaking about the liberation, that means some kind of movement happened in particular place to get independence of that domination. So, in Czechoslovakia, people wanted for liberation or independence from US, and Leonid was able to suppress them, and he was able to invade Afghanistan. So this was the gentleman who ruled Russia, and he was the fourth General Secretary of USSR. Michael Gorbachev was the last General Secretary of Communist Party of Soviet Union in 1985. Here you can see his happy picture. He was very happy, or he was having a very much positive feeling when he was introducing new reforms in USSR. His reforms were concentrated in economic, political reform, policies of reconstructing, and glasnost openness. He wanted to change the sum of the structure of USSR. But his own policies were criticized by many socialists, because they said that because of his policies only people wanted liberation, because they tasted the taste of democracy, or tasted the taste of freedom. So here it is the picture of happy Gorbachev, and I would like to take your attention on his head. Here was small picture, one small spot on his head is there. You can compare his small spot with the picture of USSR, and there are so many funny stories about his mark on the head. So let's move. This is first. So our next topic is Gorbachev and the disintegration of USSR. In this topic, we will learn what were the reasons by which USSR got disintegrated into a different republic. So here you can see the sad picture of Gorbachev. He is very sad because he was not able to take the situation in his hand, and because of his reform, the people were not wanted communist ideology or Soviet system to rule on themselves. A coup took place in 1991 that was encouraged by Communist Party headliners. The people did not want the old style rule of Communist Party and wanted freedom. So, one coup means there was a liberation movement when started from 1991. Gorbachev has introduced so many of reforms that the people tasted the freedom, so they didn't want it to go back to the rule of Communist Party, and they started demanding their freedom. Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus. The three major republics of USSR declared in December 1991 that Soviet Union was disintegrated. These were the countries which were the three countries which first announced their disintegration, because that means they are not part of USSR. They announced that we are disintegrating, we are separating from USSR. So, these countries adopted capitalism and democracy, and they stopped their post-Soviet system among themselves. So, consequences of disintegration. In this topic, we are going to understand what happened to USSR after it disintegrated into different republics, or you can say different countries. The first thing happened after disintegration was it led to the end of Cold War confrontations. As you can see, the two hands are joining each other. Two hands are shaking hands. One hand is having the picture of US flag and one hand is having picture of communist flag. So, after disintegration, there will be no fight among communist ideology and capitalist ideology. So, this was the big thing happened. In this map, you can see how big USSR was. And these different color countries got disintegrated from USSR after 1991. When these countries disintegrated, this changed the power relation in the world politics. Thus, it led to change in the relative influence of ideas and institutions. That means the power relation, these countries were having good relation with USSR. Now they started having good relation with other countries, and that influenced the world politics. As a result, the US became the sole superpower, and which also backed capitalist economy, making it dominant economic system internationally. Because of that, US became sole superpower after disintegration of USSR, and the capitalist economy was the dominant economic system internationally. That means all the countries started taking capitalist economy, their economic system. The end of Soviet bloc paved way for emergence of many new countries. All these countries had their own independent aspirations and choices. The countries who divided from USSR, they started working for their own aspirations and choices. Earlier, they were dominated by the big territory of Russia's aspiration and choices. Now they have their own path of independence to work for their dreams and choices. The international system saw many players emerge, each with its own identity, interest, and economic and political difficulties. It was not an easy path when all these countries disintegrated from USSR. They had to face so many political and economic difficulties. Some countries saw civil war within their country, and some country got divided into two more countries. But they were working as their own identity, they were working for their own interest, and they were working for their own economic development. So it was a positive impact also for them. I'm suggesting you some of the ways by which you can make your study much more easier and you will be enjoying this chapter. So first you should watch Chernobyl. That's an online series. So as you now you have plenty of time, you can watch this series. It's so show you how much authoritative system of USSR was. And the another suggestion I'm giving you to read this small book. That the name of book is Animal Farm. This book is by George Orwell. Very interesting. That gives you basic idea of communist system. So let's proceed to the assignment. I know you will not like this, but we have to do this. So these are the 4 questions you have to solve, and answer of these questions you will find in my slides only. So please work on this. That's it for today's class. I hope you have understood today's topic. If you have not understood, please let me know through your messages. So enjoy, keep enjoying. Bye bye.